home to the MLB playoffs and the World Series. This is a presentation of Fox Sports.
Welcome to the Dodge Dakota pregame show, brought to you by the 2005 Dodge Dakota.
The only thing predictable about October is that it will be just the opposite. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, this month, this game will leave you breathless. And for every thrill in the autumn chill,
if it stays there, it's gone. Home run! The Red Sox win!
there will always be unforeseen heartbreak felt by so many.
And a ground ball, trickling. It is a fair ball. Hits by Buckner. The Mets will win the ball game.
And the only thing to be certain of
This is gonna be a home run. Unbelievable! I don't believe what I just saw.
there will be a tomorrow.
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
And in the midnight hour of the fall, baseball magic can be delivered with one crisp crack of the bat.
Jeter hits it into right. Back at the wall. Game over. Yankees winning the series is tied.
And who should win will not always win. And the last team standing is anyone's guess. Because no way,
And that's a Cub fan who tried to make that catch.
no how
Bird hits it to deep left. The hero of Game 7.
can you ever script the month of October.
Oh, you definitely cannot script it. They know that here. 161st Street and River Avenue. 81 years ago, a ballpark was born and a pinstripe legend began in the heart of the Bronx. A tradition of winning that has stood the test of time. But can it take another showdown with the Twins? Welcome inside the Fox Network Center and the postseason on Fox. Once again, we are with you until the final out of the World Series. I'm Jeannie Zalaska. You know that guy.
Jeannie.
Kevin Kennedy, and here we go again.
Yep, let's do it.
Yankees, Twins. What's different? Torrey Hunter says this team's heart. When they were trailing New York last season, he went into the clubhouse and heard guys talking about missing their family, wishing they were on their boat. He tried to pump them up, and they said, man, you don't need to do that. Different year. That was then. Now, Torrey's saying we are not afraid of the Yankees. Should they be?
They shouldn't be because they got Johan Santana on the mound. That's why they shouldn't be. The most dominant pitcher in the game in Major League Baseball. 20-6, a phenomenal year. Strikeout to walk ratio 5-1. This guy's lights out. But they faced Mike Mussina, who historically beats the Twins 20-3 lifetime. But last year in Game 1, they beat Mike Mussina.
All right, we're going to break down the pictures here in a little bit. You're getting ahead of yourself. We've got a few more pictures to share.
We do?
Previous
Oh,
162,
that's what
just
it's
a
about.
tune-up. 8 teams are through. Only one will survive.
Boston Red Sox, Manny Ramirez, probably the leading MVP candidate. That shields in the game in the fourth inning, which tells you right there that Jared Washburn got knocked out early. Defense also hurt the Angels. Washburn, well, we'll see if he gets another start. Red Sox, big number on the board, 9 runs. Same thing for the Los Angeles Dodgers and SoCal. Dallas Perez early, Pujols, Walker, third inning Edmonds again. 5 home runs in all. We're not done yet with these Cardinals, this offense. Larry Walker going for number 2. Jeannie, 5
You
home
thought
runs.
they struggled down
8
the stretch.
runs.
They
Oh,
look
man.
fine to me.
Well,
Tied
they-
the division record
And
with
they
those
got
5
pretty,
home runs.
and they got pretty good pitching too from Woody Williams. A little bit long in the first inning, but once he got through that, he pitched well. The bullpen did the job. Much better bullpen than what the Dodgers have been seeing the last couple of weeks of the season in the National League West. The Cardinals go up 1 game, and the Boston Red Sox, with that offense, some of the best in Major League Baseball. They get it done against the Angels.
Saw that today. There are many who believe Vladimir Guerrero stole the AL MVP award from Gary Sheffield down the stretch, and now a steroid scandal has taken away the spotlight. In a Sports Illustrated story that hits newsstands tomorrow, Gary Sheffield admits he unknowingly used an illegal steroid during the 2002 season. It is from testimony Sheffield gave to a federal grand jury last year because of his connection with Balco. Sheffield introduced to the lab through his friend Barry Bonds, and Balco is where Sheffield got the cream. In talking to many professional sports trainers, doctors, and pharmacists today, I was told that the cream Sheffield used is widely suspected to have contained an anabolic steroid. In other words, it was muscle enhancing. What is not clear is whether or not tests would ever show that a player actually took steroids. Labs have gotten so sophisticated at hiding these steroids, I was told You cannot find what you don't know to look for, rendering steroid testing almost useless. Baseball has announced they will not take any action against Mr. Gary Sheffield. As we talk about being useless, that is not what Alex Rodriguez wants to be during his first postseason in pinstripes, Kevin.
Well, he's finally playing next to his good friend Derek Jeter. We all know that Derek has the most postseason hits in Major League Baseball history, 4 World Series rings. We'll find out what A-Rod's legacy is this postseason, should he swing the bat like he can.
Playing in postseason with Seattle for 3 years was a great experience, but I have to think that New York has to be the most exciting, and you know, you have an opportunity here to set your legacy, basically.
Alex Rodriguez had a good year. People say, oh, he only hit 286, still over 30 home runs, over 100 RBIs. I like, too, that Joe Torre ran him. 28 stolen bases, only caught 4 times. And, you know, that series he had against Boston early where he went 1 for 17, kind of forced the issue, I think that really helped him in the long run. Now he's become a Yankee. But it starts all over tonight, a second season, the postseason. All
right, still ahead. It wasn't just a rebuilding year in Minnesota. This was an extreme makeover. So what are they doing in October? And the Twins weren't the only ones making roster moves, and that is a good thing, according to one Torrey Hunter.
You know, Clemens and Pettit. Clemens, ooh, I don't like him, man. He can pitch. So one of the guys that I fear, and Clemens and Pettit, they're not here, so.
Welcome back to the Dodge Dakota pregame show, brought to you by the 2005 Dodge Dakota. Torrey Hunter's not under the big top tonight, but he is one of the greatest shows on earth with the glove.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth.
Hunter to the wall, makes the catch.
Oh, what a catch by Torrey Hunter.
You gotta be kidding me.
Here's the throw from Hunter. It is. Got him!
I think that's our motivation to go out there and prove a lot of people wrong with the talent that we have. If we had a Manny Ramirez or Alex Rodriguez or whatever it may be, we probably wouldn't have them because we can't afford them.
That's probably true.
I'll tell you what, Torrey Hunter's got to be confident the Twins are the best pitcher in the American League by far. 20-6, first in the ERA, first in Ks per 9 innings pitched. On base against him, unbelievably low. This guy's been dominant. Fastball's 95, good slider, curve, changeup. He spots the ball well. 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. I give the edge tonight to Santana. This guy's been dominant. He hasn't lost. He's like 13-0 since the All-Star break, and it's a microscopic earned run average 1.29.
All right, we've heard all the numbers, but what's your gut say? Who's taking game one?
You play the game on the field. Everybody talks about numbers and all that, but on the field, I think the guy's just going to be dominant. But A-Rod, Gary Sheffield, that's why the Yankees got these two guys. They wanted two good offensive guys.
Who's winning game one?
They could hit good pitching. And Sheffield might homer tonight.
Who's winning
I'm
game
making
one?
a call.
Who's winning game one?
Twins.
Okay, thank you. So that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Now
You
we
all
can
want
take you out to your
predictions,
ball
don't
game.
you? Let the players play it.
One that, by the way, will include Jock Jones in the lineup. Despite the death of his father, he flew all night to be here with his team. He'll have to go back for the funeral. Since the franchise moved from D.C. to Minnesota, no AL opponent has beaten the Twins more frequently than the Yankees. Sheffield in the house. Torrey Hunter says this year will be different. He knows it will. Twins have counted on Johan Santana all season long to deliver a big game performance. They need him again because the Moose is loose in the Bronx. As our month-long journey begins, get ready for some of sports' greatest moments on Fox.
They are Fox. Oh, my God.
I'm Jeannie Zalasko back at the Fox Network Center. It is deja vu all over again, Yogi. For the second consecutive season, the Twins will open up the playoffs at historic Yankee Stadium. It is game one of the divisional series, and it's next on Fox.
Welcome to the baseball playoffs on Fox. Tonight, game one of the division series as the Minnesota Twins pay a visit to the Bronx to take on the New York Yankees. Yankee Stadium, this place is jam-packed and ready to go. The winners of the AL Central taking on the winners of the American League East. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver in just a second. Well, we begin our month-long trek through the baseball playoffs tonight on Fox. Where will that path take us? That we don't know. But what we do know is tonight we start in New York, and we watch a Yankee team, Tim McCarver, that comes in, I think, with more questions about their starting rotation than at any other time under manager Joe Torre.
I don't think there's any question about it. Consider the fact that the Yankees are the first team in baseball history to win 100 games and yet not have a 15-game winner. So it would make sense that if the Yankees are going to beat the Minnesota Twins, they're going to have to score a lot of runs, and they can with that lineup.
But the question is, can they do it against a guy who I think is right now known as the most dominant starter in baseball today, Johan Santana?
Johan is already being compared to Pedro Martinez, and why not with numbers like this? Look at the opposition's batting average against him, only 192, and of course that led the American League.
So it's a matchup of Santana against Mike Mussina for the Yankees. The lights are bright. We're ready to go. October baseball. Time for the big leaguers to express themselves.
Express yourself.
Games like tonight, and the 12-year-old boy comes out from inside of you, and you know, it's pretty cool. You're playing for all the marbles, and it's fun to be 12 again.
Express yourself. We're not scared. We're competitors. We're Major League Baseball players. We're scared. We need to get a dog and go home.
The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge by Subway. It's what to eat when you want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh. By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. They mark their calendars every year. They know that if they are season ticket holders or people who like to file through the gates here at Yankee Stadium, then in October they're going to watch the Yankees play. And for the second year in a row, it's the Yankees taking on the much different Minnesota Twins team. Mike Mussina getting ready to go, and we take a look at the lineup for the Minnesota Twins. It'll be Stewart leading off, then Jock Jones, who is back, playing right field, batting in the number 2 spot. Torrey Hunter hits third. Then Morneau, who really gives them a big power threat in the middle of their lineup. Corey Koski has had a very good year. Lou Ford likes to slap it and run. Christian Guzman is the shortstop. Michael Cuddyer at second. And Henry Blanco, a very good throwing catcher, light hitting catcher, is batting ninth. Here is the right-hander, Mike Mussina, who has been good down the stretch. And folks, for the Yankees, he is as solid as it gets. After Mike Mussina, there are a lot of question marks.
And we will say, once again, what we said on the opener. The Yankees, the first team in Major League history to win 100 games and not have a 15-game winner. Mike Mussina, 12-9. And Mike usually determines what his strength is going to be when he goes out there. One of 5 pitches. What will be his pitch du jour this evening? And with Clemens gone, Pettit gone, and David Wells gone, Mike Mussina, the new Yankees ace.
And isn't that really the difference from a year ago? Mussina lost game 1 to the Twins, but then the Yankees came right back and won with Pettit, Clemens, and Wells, and goodbye Minnesota. If you hear Torrey Hunter talk about it, and we heard him moments ago in our pregame, he says, well, I got Mussina, but there's no more Clemens, there's no more Pettit, and David Wells is just finishing his first season in San Diego. We'll take our chances. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. The velocity has been up for Mike Mussina. Really struggled with that early in the season. And down the stretch, 3-1 in his last 6 starts. Here's a 2-0. 2-1. Again, it's Stewart, Jones, and Torrey Hunter. If anybody gets on, the rookie Morneau. Broken bat, going to be a tough play for Alex Rodriguez. Can't make the play, and that's an infield hit. So Stewart, who's been bothered by a hamstring pull, is on to start the night for Minnesota. Good beginning for the Twins, and we look at the defense. For the Yankees, it's presented by State Farm, and this is a group that overall had the 6th best fielding percentage in the American League. Made 99 errors, and Alex Rodriguez had a very good first year at third base. Contested on that first play, and even had he come up with it cleanly, he had no chance to get Stewart. So the leadoff man is on, and here is Jock Jones. Took a red-eye flight back from California, got in about 7 o'clock this morning. Father Hardy passed away on Thursday, and after the first 2 games of this series, tonight and tomorrow night, he'll go back out to California and then go to Minneapolis for Game 3 over the weekend. First pitch to Jones. He offered at it, and strike 1.
That's the one thing Ron Gardenhire said he would do, regardless of the inning, particularly with Johan Santana on the mound. He will play for 1 run.
Secondary now.
Ray Santana has gone since July the 11th. He has not lost a game since before the All-Star game. The Minnesota Twins playing it like it's late innings right now instead of the first inning.
Check on Stewart, who has stolen 6 bases, or did during the regular season, was caught 3 times, and that's really how the Twins play. Ron Gardenhire is a guy who will start runners, use the hit and run, try to manufacture runs. They're a more powerful team in 2004. They still get guys moving on the base paths, and that's strike 2 on Jones. Broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. So this crowd wants an out from Messina before Torrey Hunter bats. 52 degrees at the start of the night. The umpires have told the pitchers it's okay to blow into that pitching hand to warm it up. 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Yankees 20-3 against Minnesota the last 3 years, including the postseason.
And that's what Mike Messina is lifetime against the Twins.
A 1-2. Breaking ball got him. 1 out.
That was the knuckle curveball. Mike Messina throws that pitch with his fingertips. He just flicked it out there to get Jock Jones for the first out in the first. Good rotation, tightly spun knuckle curve to get Jock Jones.
So Jones is gone, and now the number 3 hitter Torrey Hunter is at the plate. 1 on, 1 out. Chopper foul. It seems like Torrey Hunter is becoming the vocal leader of this Minnesota team, and anytime you want to get a quote about this matchup against David versus Goliath, $184 million payroll against 53, go to Torrey Hunter, and this guy's face just lights up the television screen, and he has all the right things to say.
So charismatic.
It's fun to listen to.
He is.
Check on the runner, Shannon Stewart. No balls, 1 strike on the hitter Torrey Hunter. A guy who's been a lifer with the Minnesota Twins. One on, 1 out. Hunter up and after it, 0-2.
That's the second hitter in a row that Messina has gotten in the hole with high fastballs. First, Jock Jones, and now Torrey Hunter going for the high heat.
Oh, 0-2 on Torrey Hunter. Left side for A-Rod. Wide throw, but out as Olruth saves an error. Rodriguez points his way, and it paid off having a left-handed throwing first baseman here.
Who is 6'5" and stretches to his right. Looked like that foot was just off the bag momentarily, and Olruth recovered in time to come back. Watch the left foot. Stays on.
So a runner at second, 2 out, and if the Twins want to get a first inning lead for Santana, right now it's up to the rookie Morneau. wide strike, 0-1. The numbers for Morneau and the home run total won't knock you over until you realize he did all that in 280 at bats. He was just ripping up AAA. It was a log jam at first. The Twins traded away Minkiewicz, and it's Morneau's job. 1 ball, 1 strike. See the radar gun lighting up to 93 with Messina. You look at the first inning runs scored during the regular season for the Yankees. The 124 tied for the most in the major leagues, and Twins didn't do much in the first inning for Ron Gardenhire. That's strike 2.
Here's that resourcefulness of Mike Messina. Fastball inside, following the knuckle curveball.
I guess it's okay for a grown man to bring a stuffed animal to Yankee Stadium with his little moose that he brought with him. There, isn't that cute?
Well, there are a lot of moose up near New Westminster, British Columbia. And that's where Justin Morneau is from. 52-degree night. That's a sweltering summer evening up there.
Messina has given these Twins hitters a steady diet of fastballs here in the first inning. He did strike out Jones on that breaking ball. Morneau is trying to make a splash for his Twins. Foul tip. When the Twins are in the field in the bottom of the inning, we're going to watch Johan Santana. And we are going to be looking at a 25-year-old left-hander that is so tough for hitters to pick up. Great difference in velocity from the fastball to the changeup. Good pitching matchup here in game 1. Santana hoping for a run. To the right side, Olrud. A flip. The Twins get a leadoff hit. Nothing more from Minnie. Yankees coming up, bottom of the first in the division series.
Forget about it. But I'll tell you one thing.
Little Santana get fiddle action for you, and Johan Santana, what a weapon. The left-hander as good as there is across baseball, and he takes him out. He hasn't lost in almost 3 months.
85 days, that's right.
Oh. And you look at the scouting report put together for Santana.
The power changeup. Sounds like an oxymoron. It really is. But he gets so many of his strikeouts, so many off-balanced swings against him because hitters find it very difficult to identify his pitches. That's what's facing the Yankees tonight.
You can start swimming in statistics in a game like this and with a guy like Johan Santana on the mound. But since September 1st, Santana's ERA is 0.45. That includes a start here last Wednesday when the Yankees swept the Twins in a pretty heated 3-game series. But if you ask the Twins about that experience, and especially Ron Gardenhire, he'll tell you that that experience was good for this young Minnesota team. That's Torrey Hunter, and that's out number 1 on pitch number 1 as Jeter went after it. And the number 2 hitter, Alex Rodriguez. You will see the Yankee batting order. Sheffield will follow him, then Williams, Posada, Matsui. The DH is Sierra. Olrud is in the number 8 spot, and Miguel Cairo bats 9th. I would say the Minnesota Twins from a year ago, while their ball club is more powerful, you would still consider them above average defensively, but they've taken a step back. That's off the end of the bat on a changeup. Kadire can't make the play. They do not have their better defensive second baseman Rivas in the game, bothered by a sore elbow. Kadire is relatively new to second base. but there are Gold Glovers that would have been challenged by this play.
Visiting with Gardenhire before the game, he said the Yankees last Wednesday came out and their first 3 hitters, Jeter, Rodriguez, and Sheffield, all swung at the first pitch. So tonight, the same thing. Jeter flying out to center, then the changeup off the end of the bat to Rodriguez, and he's aboard with an infield hit.
So it is a base hit, 1 on, 1 out, and Gary Sheffield. His wife sang the Star-Spangled Banner before tonight's game, stands in, and he can't go after the first pitch because it's a ball.
Gary's wife, DeLeon, and Gary told me about a month ago that DeLeon's mother and dog went with him on his first date with DeLeon.
Really?
Yes.
That's love.
That is love.
1 on, 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes. It really limit you as to where you can go to dinner.
Not in France. They take their dogs with them.
Really? And there they are, hand in hand. No mom and no dog, but out to sing the national anthem. And she did a great job. Beautiful, beautiful rendition. Runner at first, 1 down, 2 balls, no strikes on Sheffield. Ball 3. Sheffield climbed up into the 400 home run club during the regular season.
One would think Joe Torre will turn Sheffield loose here. And if so, Gary will look for a fastball in the inside part of the plate, and Santana is shaking off his catcher on a 3-0 count.
And walking Sheffield, so it was not a 3-0 fastball. 2 on, 1 out. Take a look at the defense for the Twins. It's presented by State Farm. Stewart, Hunter, who's so good out in center, and Jock Jones in right. Koski, Guzman, former Yankee farmhand, Kadire and Morneau. Henry Blanco, very good at throwing out potential base stealers, and Santana. Joe Hunt for New York.
Excuse me, Joe. I have not seen that in a long time. Any pitcher shaking off a 3-0 call by a catcher to throw the breaking ball.
He missed with it, and it's 2 on, 1 out. Bernie Williams at the plate, strike 1, and he went after a first pitch fastball.
93-mile-an-hour fastball from Santana.
That replay look from dead on center field. Squared up with home plate. 2 on, 1 out, no balls, 1 strike. Same pitch, same result, 0-2.
I'm a little surprised that as Williams goes after another high fastball, I'm a little surprised at the lead that Rodriguez has taken from second base. Alex had 28 stolen bases in 32 tries during the season, and it's a very cautious lead at second base.
One ball, 2 strikes. Bernie Williams clinched the American League East for the Yankees on Thursday with a home run against the Twins and the lefty Aaron Foltz. For the regular season, 22 home runs in his postseason career, 19. Changeup misses, 2-2 on Thursday. That did it. 9th inning home run to snap the tie. And the Yankees were able to celebrate yet again. 7 straight division titles for Joe Torre's Yankees.
The Yankees with 242 home runs as a team this year, and that's a Yankee record.
Alex Rodriguez checking the positioning of the outfielders, reminding himself who's got a good arm, who doesn't. He's also got a third base coach for that. 2-2 pitch. Still 2-2. Some of the accomplishments for the Yankees this year. 3rd straight 100-win season. That's the first time in their glorious franchise history, they've accomplished that. Franchise record for home runs, a major league record, 61 come from behind wins, and their 10th straight postseason appearance. Kicking off here tonight. Full count.
Contact pitcher on the mound. I think you send the runners right here. Speed of the runners really not a consideration, but Bernie Williams can make contact enough with Rodriguez at second and Sheffield at first.
They're going, and it's a foul ball.
There's a risk involved in sending the runners in this situation because Santana led the American League in strikeouts at 265. But Joe Torre with enough confidence in Bernie Williams to make some kind of contact with the runners running.
They're moving, and it's another foul. Santana trying to figure out a way to get the ball past the bat of Williams and give Blanco a chance at ending the inning by throwing out one of the runners. Just in case Alex Rodriguez left too early. Runners go, strike three, and the inning is over. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Santana gets his first strikeout, and the Yankees run themselves out of the first. After one in New York, no score. Minnesota got a leadoff hit in their first by Shannon Stewart. Stewart eventually ended up at second base, but the Twins left him on, and then the Yankees put their second two hitters aboard, but a strike him out, throw him out double play ended the threat. And the first pitch to start the second to Corey Koskie is high for ball one. Koskie had a very good year, and since the middle of August hit .309 and hit 9 of his 25 home runs. So he rolls into this postseason hot, 2-0. He's been bothered by a bad back, playing through that and trying to get on in front of Lou Ford. On 2-0, Koskie hits it in the air to left, right at Matsui. 1 out. Baseball fans, grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. The Yankees and Twins will play tomorrow night. That game will be on ESPN, and then Thursday night we'll be back in prime time in St. Louis for the Dodgers and the Cardinals game 2 after the Cardinals won the opener 8-3 on the strength of 5 home runs. With 1 out, here's Lou Ford, and there's ball 1.
Cardinals won this afternoon, as did the Boston Red Sox. Identical scores of 8-3.
There you go, scrolling across the top of your screen. The 1-0 pitch. With 1 out, it's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Mike Borzello is a longtime bullpen catcher for the Yankees and Messina's closest friend on the team, and Tyler Kempner wrote a piece in the New York Times detailing how Borzello calls Messina Mr. Almost. And that's really been his career. He's still regarded as the guy who's had a fantastic career in the big leagues with the Baltimore Orioles and now with the Yankees. He's almost won 20 games. He's won 19 twice. He's almost won a Cy Young. He's almost won a World Series.
And he's almost pitched 2 perfect games. One against the Boston Red Sox, where he retired 26 straight batters before Carl Everett got a hit to left center field. So he has taken 2 perfect games into the 9th inning.
With 1 out, a 3-1 pitch is chopped to third. A-Rod with a little hop to his step, 2 out. He'll like that throw better than that little goose job he gave John Olerud in the first.
To get Torrey Hunter. That is called a little throw hop. That's what fielders on the left side of the infield do when they're trying to get a grip on the ball, and A-Rod with an easy play to get Luke forward.
So with 2 out and nobody on, here's Christian Guzman. This talented shortstop could be in his final year with Minnesota, although with the way he's played, especially down the stretch, you wouldn't think so. The Twins have a $5.5 million option to pick up for next year. Could potentially work out some longer-term deal. A guy who was part of the Knobloch deal. That's as easy as they come, and the Twins go 1-2-3.
And that was a bad play.
The old 2-out bunt popped up. Chilly night in New York, Yankee Stadium, bottom of the 2nd, no score. Jorge Posada will lead off for the Yankees as we move into the bottom of the 2nd. Hideki Matsui and Ruben Sierra, the DH, will follow. No score. Santana's first is grounded to third. That's a fair ball. Off the glove of Koski, he's able to corral it and hold Posada to a single.
Ball off the heel of the glove of Corey Koski. He did recover in time to hold Posada to a single. Most of the time when an infielder moves to his right and bobbles the ball, it will have hit the heel of the glove. Rarely do you see a ball off the webbing of the glove when an infielder goes to his right. So a base hit for Jorge Posada to lead off the 2nd inning.
Here's Hideki Matsui. When you start totaling up the numbers for Matsui, Tim, he is developing into that big power threat I think that the Yankees thought they were getting when they signed him to come over from Japan.
I don't think there's any question about it.
But what he does that so many power hitters struggle to do is he puts the bat on the ball. He makes a lot of contact and he drives in a lot of runs. Last 2 years, the 3rd most RBIs across Major League Baseball among outfielders. Sheffield, Manny Ramirez, and then the 214 put up by Matsui. Here's a 1-0. Into center, 2 on, nobody out. While the Yankees put 2 more on, we remind you the Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Budweiser. Enjoy a cold, fresh Budweiser because fresh beer tastes better.
Fastball on the outside part of the plate. That is the one thing that Matsui has done very well. He's adjusted to American pitching, going to left field and hitting the ball up the middle. Last year he was trying to pull a pitch like that.
2 on for Sierra, who takes a strike. How far has Sierra come? He was nothing but a headache for Joe Torre his first tour of duty with the Yankees. George Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman made the deal to bring him back last year. He's become a big threat off the bench, powerful DH. And Joe Torre had him manage the team the final game of the regular season. 1 ball, 1 strike. Torre's always done that every year he's managed, every city where he's been the manager. He lets a player manage on the final day, and Ruben Sierra took a lot of pride being the one given the job. Here's a 1-1. Sierra went. Strike 2.
It looked like a slider diving out of the strike zone, and Sierra couldn't hold up. That's the one thing you'll see off Santana when he's having a good night. A lot of check swings from right-handed hitters. Again, identifying the pitches, very difficult against this left-hander.
And here's where Santana's so good. He gets strikeouts when he needs them. He needs one here. Sierra went up to get it. 94 miles per hour. It's still 1-2. Posada, the lead runner at second. Matsui on at first. In the air to left field. Back at the track on the run, and the catch made by Stewart. Great base running by Posada as he tags at second and ends up at third.
Jorge Posada is not a good base runner, but he makes a terrific play right here, realizing that Shannon Stewart does not have a good throwing arm and takes a chance. If this ball's against the wall, you don't want to be on second base because you'd have a tough time scoring. But Stewart with a nice play, and Posada tagging and going to third base. Very nicely done.
Matsui remains at first. It's first and third, 1 out for Olerud. John Olerud has bounced around now in his major league career. He was cut loose by Seattle, his hometown club, on July 27th, added to the Yankees. And they knew they'd be without Jason Giambi for a while. Giambi missed 7 weeks with an intestinal parasite and a benign tumor. Giambi is not on the roster for the Yankees in this division series, and Olerud will make the starts at first base. Got a pretty good swing. Strike 1.
Twins looking for a ground ball from John Olerud. He was cut loose by the Seattle Mariners a month before his 36th birthday, and one of the reasons he signed with the Yankees, the doctor who delivered his wife and his first child is in the area, and his wife is with child now.
That's strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes from Santana.
And the fastball right down the pipe to Olerud.
Hit 280 with the Yankees down the stretch. Trying to put New York on top here in the second. And he loops one into center field. Hunter with a catch. Here comes Posada. Play at the plate. Posada is out, and the inning is over. Perfect throw from Torrey Hunter. The Yankees put their first 2 on. Cannot cross home plate and make it count. Third inning now. No score in the Bronx. What a perfect throw from Torrey Hunter to end the second.
There are an awful lot of catchers in Major League Baseball who keep their mask on in making a play like that, but not so Henry Blanco. Just a perfect throw by Torrey Hunter to get Jorge Posada.
First pitch to Cuddyer is outside, ball one.
Watch the gardening by Henry Blanco. Off with the mask, kicks the bat, and makes the tag. Nicely done on both ends.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's foul outside third. Cuddyer is at the plate with a 1-ball-1-strike count. The reaction from Torrey Hunter. Jeannie Zalasko talked about his disappointment last year when he came into the clubhouse with his team down in the series to the Yankees, trying to pump everybody up, and he didn't get much of a response. Saying this year it's different. And he has been a vocal leader, is now backing all of that talk up with a perfect throw to keep the Yankees off the board in the second. Cuddyer, Blanco, and then Stewart. Good start for the Twins. That's into right center field. Sheffield cuts it off and makes a good throw. What a play by a guy with his left shoulder that's just killing him.
And that's the toughest play for Gary to make. He has had cortisone shots in that left shoulder, but reaching down like this, tougher on the shoulder than any of the plays. And Gary holds Cuddyer to a single. We have seen two good defensive plays in the outfield in the last 2 innings.
Here's Blanco now.
He may be bunting.
Saw the average 206 during the regular season. If they were bunting in the first inning with Jones, you would think they'd be bunting here in the third inning with Blanco. Maybe get an early peek at that. A throw over to first, and Blanco did not show a bunt early, if it indeed is what he's going to do. Blanco popped 10 home runs, though, with that 206 average. That was close. In one motion, Olerud caught that throw from Messina and laid the tag on the back of Cuddyer.
Again, the advantage of a left-handed throwing first baseman. That was very close. Tag on the back. The hand appeared to be just in there.
Here's the bunt, and it is perfect. Messina's play to first. Down to second. Cuddyer, one out, back to the top of the order. Shannon Stewart will hit. Here's Torrey Hunter talking about he and his teammates are not scared.
Whoever we play, we want them. If we play the Red Sox, we play the Yankees, we want those guys. You know, what we're going to say? No, we don't want those guys. We're not scared. We're competitors. We're Major League Baseball players. We're scared. We need to get a dog and go home. So we're not like that. I'm sure they're not scared of us. They're not going to say we don't want to play the Twins. We don't want to play the Angels. We don't want to play the Red Sox. They want to play us. Whoever comes our way, they're going to want to play us. That's the way we feel. We're a professional team. Don't forget about that.
And they have made their mark already in this game as the ball is fouled by Stewart. And the ball comes up and knocks the helmet off Shannon Stewart, who led off in the first inning with an infield single.
In the postseason, some players try to make those around him think that he's relaxed. Torrey Hunter, you could tell the difference. He is genuinely relaxed and genuinely confident. You can see it, and the camera sees it.
Runner at second, one out. An opportunity for the Twins to take the early lead. And there's a base hit into left field. Matsui will play it on 2 bounces back into the infield, and the Twins take a third inning lead. Stewart is 2 for 2, and he knocks in the first run of this series.
This is the way that Minnesota manufactures runs. A base hit, a bunt, a base hit. And it's Ron Gardenhire's thinking that when he has a team on the run, he keeps them on the run. Like Stonewall Jackson. I wouldn't be surprised to see a hit and run right here. Twins strike first.
Keep an eye on Stewart. Stewart had a bad hamstring, finally got his way back into the lineup at the very end of the season. Stole a base in the final game. And that was enough to prove to Ron Gardenhire that his hamstring was healthy. And the Yankees are leery of the Twins trying to steal a base, or at least start the runner with a hit and run. Jock Jones at the plate, struck out his first time up. There's a strike from Messina. That'll be our next game on Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The Dodgers and the Cardinals. Weaver and Marquis. Runner at first, one out, a run home, and Jones hits it foul down the left side. Strike two.
Jeff Weaver, another pitcher that the Yankees are without this year. Jeff Weaver had a very, very good year for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good enough to start game 2 against the St. Louis Cardinals on Thursday night.
A leadoff hit by Cuddyer, a bunt by Blanco, and a base hit by Stewart. The eyes of Stewart bouncing around. He stays put. Cairo. Jeter getting over. 4-6-3 and a double play, but Minnesota out in front. They strike first. RBI Stewart. 1-0 Twins. Little Jay Giles band to get you rolling on a Tuesday night. Game 1 of this AL Division Series. Tuesday, October 5th. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Bottom of the order, the number 9 man, Miguel Cairo. And then back to the top, Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. 1-0, the Twins on top. So Santana gets his lead. He's pitched into and out of trouble each of the first 2 innings. And Cairo, who has jumped up and had a great year out of nowhere for the Yankees, took a strike. And now a ball. There's a man who is playing in his 100th career postseason game. 100 for Derek Jeter. Strike 2 on Cairo.
Fastball out of the strike zone to Cairo, and Miguel in the hole.
Cairo on 1-2 looks had a changeup up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Twins have won game 1 of each of their last 7 postseason series, but they've lost their last 2 series when they've done that. The 2-2 pitch. Saw Ron Gardenhire, who doesn't get a lot of credit, but should. A guy who one time for a short while played for Joe Torre. He grew up a Yankee fan, and he has guided this Twins team with the small payroll to the top of the division each of the last 3 years. All 3 years he's been manager.
He's been tutored well also, succeeding Tom Kelly.
Cairo strikes out. We've talked a lot about this changeup. Here's Scooter to show us what that pitch is all about.
Hello, friends. It's Scooter. A changeup is just another word for a slow ball. While the batter is looking for a real fast pitch, the pitcher throws me really, really slow.
Johan Santana showing the grip on the changeup. Some pitchers refer to it as the circle change, and that's the reason. Remember, the tighter you grip the ball, the slower the pitch. The looser you grip the ball, the harder the pitch.
1 out, nobody on for Jeter, who flied to center on the first pitch his first time. He goes after the first pitch here and gets a single to left. 1 on, 1 out.
Santana has not been sharp this evening. This is not the Santana that has not lost a game in 85 days. Yankees are hitting their fair share of balls hard tonight.
Santana in his first full year as a starter. And the 25-year-old has gone from a guy just looking to get a chance every 5 days to a guy that's the front runner for the AL Cy Young Award. His stiffest competition is probably from the guy who won today for Boston out in Anaheim, Curt Schilling. 1 on, 1 out. Ball 1 to Rodriguez.
And speaking of Boston, you have to wonder if Alex Rodriguez, if the trade went through last December, would the Red Sox be in Anaheim this afternoon? Would Alex Rodriguez have been their shortstop? Would Manny Ramirez have gone to Texas? Would Nomar Garciaparra have left the Red Sox earlier?
Strike 1 on Alex Rodriguez. 1 ball, 1 strike after this foul tip.
Boston Red Sox made the trade for Alex Rodriguez. And then the Players Association intervened. Red Sox fan in the crowd.
Takes guts.
Certainly does.
It's one thing to wear a hat, but the whole deal. A check on the runner, Jeter. He did some more running this year. 23 stolen bases, caught 4 times. And the guy at the plate did a lot of running. Alex Rodriguez, who stole 17 bases last year, had 28 steals for Joe Torre. An update coming unless something happens here with Rodriguez Santana. That's backing out of play, strike 2.
That's where American League pitchers try to pitch A-Rod in on the hands to prevent him from going outside. His power to right center field. On the pitch down in the strike zone, he can pull that pitch. But A-Rod has not taken advantage of right field and right center here at Yankee Stadium as much as he did with Seattle in his first 6 years.
Two and 2. You look at his hits by direction. He is in the category this year of a pull hitter. Only 23 of them to right. For the year, he hit 36 home runs, drove in 106, and hit 286. A drop off from his last couple of seasons in Texas. Full count. When Santana's missed tonight, he is missed by such a wide margin that he's not even allowing these Yankees to offer at these pitches.
Yeah, that's right. There's no deception. And that, as we said, was his strength. Expect Jeter to run right here on this 3-2 count.
Struck him out with high heat.
And not running. What a surprise.
So it's 1 on, 2 out. Let's check in with Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, the postseason officially got underway in Anaheim earlier today. Manny Ramirez, pretty much just like the Manny from the regular season. Home run, part of a 7-run burst in the 4th. The Red Sox beat the Angels 9-3 to open up that series. And hey, finally the Cardinals have a reason to play. Boy, can they ever. Albert Pujols got it started with the fireworks. Game 2 of this series, Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox.
All right, Jeannie, thanks. Alex Rodriguez frustrated after offering it a pitch up and out of the strike zone. 1 on, 2 out. Sheffield takes a fastball for a strike.
The 3-2 pitch on Rodriguez. A high fastball. I think it was in the strike zone. It would have been a borderline pitch. I was a bit surprised that Joe Torre did not send Derek Jeter but it worked out well for the Yankees.
Sheffield hammers it a high pitch, fouls it. Koski has a play, and the inning is over. A one-out hit by Jeter. He is left stranded. The Yankees have left 3 and suffered 2 double plays. Santana threw 3. 4th inning now, Yankee Stadium. Minnesota up by 1. The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By Oral-B for a customized rushing experience. Try new Oral-B Sonic Complete. And by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Down inside Yankee Stadium, we are through 3 innings, 1-0. The Twins on top. And Torrey Hunter, whose arm has helped the Twins keep the Yankees off the board, throwing out Posada at the plate in the 2nd inning, takes ball 1. Hunter, then Morneau, then Corey Koski. The middle of the order, and that's foul. Gets the attention of Al Newman, the 3rd base coach, for Ron Gardenhire. Mike Mussina coming off a season in which he won 12 games. 2nd lowest win total in his big league career. That is a dangerous foul ball into the seats, 1-2. And Hunter is getting his ribs. On 1-2, off the end of the bat into right center field. Bernie Williams has to go back on the move. 1 out. So with 1 down, Morneau will step to the plate, and we welcome in our buddy Kenny Albert. Kenny?
Well, Joe, you mentioned moments ago Twins manager Ron Gardenhire, a huge Yankee fan growing up. He remembers watching in his dorm room during his junior college days when Chris Chambliss won the ALCS with a pennant-winning home run back in '76. He said that was his best Yankee moment as a youngster. Now, during his playing days with the Mets, Ron traveled to Baseball Encyclopedia collecting autographs. Among his favorites, Yankee first base coach Roy White.
White in the dugout, hoping to charge out there to climb into that first base coaching box here shortly. 2 out, nobody on, and Corey Koski will be the hitter.
Ron Gardenhire was with the New York Mets back in 1983. He used to travel with the Baseball Encyclopedia, and everybody he would see, he would get their autograph. I asked him last year where that encyclopedia was. Now he didn't know. But think of all the autographs he's got to have in that thing, and that thing's tough to lug around.
I was going to say, anybody who's ever picked up a Baseball Encyclopedia knows that you really have to want to get autographs and travel around with that thing. I mean, that's as big as a book can get. Kenny, you have more on that?
Well, guys, you told me earlier today, Willie Mays, Frank Howard among the many baseball autographs. Also some non-baseball players. President Nixon, Magic Johnson, and Wayne Gretzky signed his Baseball Encyclopedia as well.
Wow. I like the story about playing for Joe Torre for just a short while and the calm and ease that he brought to a dugout. And then when the two got together at home plate last year prior to Game 1 of the Division Series in 2003, Joe Torre came over, put his arm around Gardenhire and said, "Ron, take it all in." George Brett's taking it all in. We're glad you are as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on.
What great memories George Brett has of this stadium.
Never ran faster in his life than when he ran to home plate. The great Pine Tar incident. Base hit into right off the bat of Koski. 1 on, 2 out. The batter will be Lou Ford. Providing aerial coverage for tonight's broadcast is Ameriquest airship Liberty, captained by Scott Danaker and Corky Belanger Jr. Liberty is the airship of the Ameriquest Mortgage Company, the official mortgage company of Major League Baseball. So Corky and Scott, thanks for joining us from up above tonight. Here's Lou Ford. A lot of infield hits this season to go with his 15 home runs. Almost like a right-handed Ichiro as he slaps at it and starts running as he's swinging at the pitch. Breaking ball is in for a strike. Lou from Beaumont, Texas, 28 years old and finally getting a chance to play. He's made the most of it. Some scouts will tell you he is the toughest out in this Minnesota lineup. 1-1.
Toughest out in baseball was the aforementioned Ichiro Suzuki of the Seattle Mariners, who broke George Sisler's record of 257 hits in a major league season. He had 262, even though he played in 8 more games than Sisler did, but notable nonetheless.
2-1 as Messina continues to pound Lou Ford inside. On deck is Guzman. One of many milestones reached this year across Major League Baseball. And congratulations to Ichiro. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's in, 2-2. Barry Bonds up to 703 career home runs. Maddox, a 300 win club. Roger Clemens, second all-time in strikeouts. Ken Griffey Jr. got to 501. Then tore his hamstring, and his season was finished. It's October baseball now, and a 2-2 pitch gets Ford. The Twins now have left 2. Bottom of the 4th inning rolls in. Williams, Posada, Matsui coming up, still 1-0 Minnesota. Johan Santana doing his thing through 3 innings. He has been dodging trouble all night long. Has yet to retire the Yankees in order. That's into center field, and that trend will continue as Bernie Williams is on to start the 4th. That hasn't been the problem for New York. It's been getting them around the bases and getting them in.
9 hits in this game, all singles. That, by the way, that song that you heard, as you see Bernie Williams making contact, that song that you heard was Proyecta Uno. And this, it stands for Project One, and this certainly Project One for Johan Santana and his teammates.
Jorge Posada stands in. Posada thrown out at the plate in the 2nd. On a perfect peg from Torrey Hunter in center. Hunter makes a lot of great plays out on that outfield wall. He is a center fielder, however, he plays deep. Left side might be a double play. Out at second, out at first. Double play in the 3rd of the night, turned against the Yankees. So with 2 out, nobody on, Hideki Matsui will be the hitter. Weeknights on FSN. It's the greatest nightly sports show on television. The best damn sports show, period, scheduled to appear this week. Eagles wide receiver Terrell Owens and actor Billy Bob Thornton, who is one of the stars of Friday Night Lights, plus much more. Best damn sports show, period, weeknights only on FSN. With 2 out, nobody on, here's Matsui, who singled into center field his first time. Strike 1. I think it's worth saying again what we talked about in our open. First of all, with regard to the Yankees and the question marks at the back end of their rotation, that's going to be in the corner. And a fair ball. Matsui will dig into second with a 2-out double. The other part of it, Tim, is what you said about the Yankees having to win, it would seem, this postseason by outslugging the opposition, because that's how they won over 100 games during the regular season.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because of the dearth of pitching. When you look at the 11 pitchers that Joe Torre has, without the presence of Clemens, Pettit, Wells, Weaver, we mentioned than before. But one would think that that they would have to score a lot of runs to win in postseason. And here you've got a 1-0 ball game in the 4th inning.
First extra base hit of the night. It belongs to Matsui, and now it's Sierra, who came close to a home run his first time. And he was swinging for another.
Well, if he's going to swing like that, help him out and go out of the strike zone. That ball about eye high to Sierra. High Sierra.
If he swings like that on a Santana changeup, there'll be 3 discs from his back laying at home plate. What a swing. In the hole, Guzman. Long throw is good enough, and the inning is over. The Yankees strand another. They've left 4 tonight. We've played 4. 1-0 Twins. Back after this from your local Fox station. From up above Yankee Stadium, we move into the 5th inning. A 1-0 game. Messina and Santana. Bottom fell out of that pitch. Strike 1 on Guzman. Guzman, Cuddyer, and then Blanco. Bottom 3 in the order for Minnesota. Only RBI tonight belongs to Shannon Stewart. Same pitch, same result, 0-2.
Seems like Messina is getting stronger as the game goes along. His stuff much sharper now than the first inning.
He made quick and easy work of Guzman. 1 out. That was number 3.
Excuse me, Joe. That was the splitter out of the strike zone. Good place to get an aggressive hitter.
So 1 out, nobody on, and here comes Cuddyer. Tomorrow, we'll all be watching as the Astros take on the Atlanta Braves. At 4 Eastern on ESPN. The Twins at Yankees game 2, 7 Eastern, so an hour earlier than tonight on ESPN. And then late, the Red Sox out in Anaheim. What a year Roger Clemens had for the Houston Astros, and what an unbelievable finish for the Astros at home, winning their last 18 in a row at home to get into the postseason. And I, for one, will say it couldn't happen to a better guy, as they went to Phil Garner, and he really changed the fortunes of that Astros ball club.
Absolutely. 5 straight strikes from Messina here in the 5th inning.
Cuddyer singled and scored his first time, and he's got these hitters way off balance. Ball 1.
I tell you, Joe, if you want the best of both worlds, you finish the season like the Houston Astros did. Not only did they finish with a ton of momentum, but they have Clemens and Oswalt ready to face the Braves Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, because of an illness, Clemens wasn't able to go Sunday.
Right.
They got a great start from Backey to win that game to seal the wild card, and now they've got Clemens loaded for game 1. How good does Messina look? Picked up right where he left off at the end of the regular season. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts.
Messina gathering steam, even though he trails by a run.
The age-old question as to whether it's better to clinch early, get everybody lined up and rested and ready to go, and you start the postseason the way you want. But as you said, you got the other side, a hot ball club like Houston. You could say the way the Dodgers won their final game.
Sure.
Or at least the clincher against the San Francisco Giants would propel them soaring into the playoffs.
Grand slam by Steve Finley.
Pop up into right. It's the way the Marlins won it last year. And they ended up winning it all right here at Yankee Stadium. Halfway through it, still 1-0.
The valley of the shy where death is. Top floor, if you alone and leave you breathless. Try to catch it. It's kind of hard getting choked by the Texas. Yeah, now check the method.
Up to the ball game, take me out with the crowd. Buy me some beer and beer and beer. And some nachos.
Starting Sunday, November 7th, the only place to see new episodes of The Simpsons is Fox.
6 hits for the Yankees, 4 for Minnesota, but the Twins have the game's only run. Bottom of the 5th. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for New York. Olerud, Cairo, and Jeter. In for strike 1 to Olerud, who flied into center at the front end of a double play. The out at the plate when Hunter threw out Posada. That was back in the 2nd. Again, 3 double plays turned tonight in 4 innings for the Yankees. That includes last year, a Game 6 shutout on the part of Josh Beckett. 2 balls and a strike in Olerud. That's ball 3.
Here's a chance for John Olerud to sit on a fastball and look for a way to tie this game up. Short porch here at Yankee Stadium. Only 3:14 down the line. So Olerud will be looking for a fastball on the inside part of the plate.
And he gets hit. It hit Olerud and the home plate umpire. That's the veteran Charlie Relaford, who was struck by the pitch, and Olerud ends up at first.
It's an unusual fastball from Santana because it tails in on Olerud. Usually he throws a 4-seam fastball, but that does not tail.
Tim, you can play Hit the Pros presented by the all-new GMC Canyon and face real pitches from today's best hurlers. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword games, GMC. We are professional grade. They are calling that officially hit by pitch as opposed to a leadoff walk.
Cairo probably up there to bunt.
Twins expected. Cairo offered at it and missed it. Tried to pull it back late, couldn't do it.
So much depends on that first pitch in a bunting situation, particularly with the type manager Joe Torre is. Because if he gets a favorable count, he'll change the sacrifice to a hit and run.
Cairo, a guy who came in with 10 hits in his last 18 postseason at bats. A lot of that with St. Louis. 0-2. Jeter will follow, and then Alex Rodriguez. Koski is still in at third, as the Twins aren't convinced that even with 2 strikes, Cairo's not going to bunt. He's not. He's going to strike out. Another key strikeout for Santana. That's his 4th of the night. And Cairo does not advance the runner.
The Yankees have not scored, and yet they have had the leadoff runner on 3 innings and a runner on with 1 out in the other 2.
And 3 of the first 4 innings have had as many as 2 runners on at a time. You look at the resume and more about Johan Santana. His favorite soccer team, dominates teammates on PlayStation Soccer. Most respected athlete. He's in a big club there, looking up to Michael Jordan. 1 on, 1 out. Here is Derek Jeter. 1 for 2 tonight. 0-1. Santana at one point was a left-handed throwing shortstop in Little League. Then they moved him out to center field. And eventually to the mound, and a guy who was let go by the Astros organization, picked up by the Marlins and traded to the Twins. Minnesota has a 25-year-old stud. 1 ball, 1 strike. The mark I'm not going to say of a great pitcher, but a very good pitcher and a young guy who's learning. Would be a guy who doesn't have his best stuff, but even in a game like this, Yankee Stadium, postseason, has had enough guile, has made the pitches when he's had to keep it a 1-0 Minnesota lead. And he does not have his best stuff tonight.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the proper location. You can tell by the way the Yankee hitters are swinging. They're hitting a lot of balls hard. But Johan this evening has been helped a great deal by his defense. This is a solid defensive ball club.
1 on, 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeter. Yet again, 6-4-3. 5 innings, 4 double plays, turned by Minnesota. The defense backing up Santana, who again gets around that leadoff hit batsman, still 1-0. The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade, by McDonald's, and by Budweiser. Enjoy a cold, fresh Budweiser because fresh beer tastes better. Up above with a look at Manhattan, providing aerial coverage for tonight's broadcast. Ameriquest Airship Liberty, captained by Scott Daniker and Corky Belanger Jr. Liberty is the airship of the Ameriquest Mortgage Company, the official mortgage company of Major League Baseball. The strike is in, and we're underway in the 6th. Shannon Stewart is 2 for 2. Mike Mussina so far has outpitched Santana, but he and the Yankees trail 1-0. Great defense by Minnesota tonight, and a timely hit by Shannon Stewart back in the 3rd to score Kadire. On 1-1. Off the hand, strike 2. Stewart leading off. Just got a piece.
Two strikes against Mussina. The way he is threading the needle, the right-handed batters are going to have to try to take him to right field a little more than they have been. Boy, he is cooking on all cylinders right now.
He has Stewart set up at 1-2. And he puts him away. Stewart went after that pitch, according to Relaford. 1 out. Strikeout number 5, and here comes Jeannie Zelasco with a game break.
And here's Larry Walker back in the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. You better believe he'd show up. The 3-time batting champ led the hit parade, homer twice as the Cardinals overpowered Odalis Perez and the Dodgers in Game 1. And guess what? Thursday, it is Game 2 of the NLDS between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. The drama continues 8 p.m. Eastern at 5 p.m. Pacific, beginning with the all-new Dodge Dakota pregame show here on Fox.
Thank you, Jeannie. Tim and I will be in St. Louis for that. Here is Jock Jones with 1 out, nobody on. Jock 0 for 2. He has struck out and bounced into a double play. A lot of swinging and missing.
Well, you noticed earlier we talked about Mussina, that pitch du jour, and he didn't have the knuckle curveball in the early innings, but he has gone to it very successfully.
That's pretty well hit into left field. Matsui back at the wall. This ball is gone. Home run for Jock Jones. Took a red eye. Flew all night to get here, and he was ready for his 3rd at bat. That makes it 2-0 Minnesota.
Getting ahead of Jones with the knuckle curve and then the fastball away. Has its own red-eyed flight to left field.
Losing his father on Thursday, flying home to California, getting the arrangements made, flying back for tonight's game. Be here tomorrow night, then go back for the funeral on Thursday. Ball 1 to Torrey Hunter.
How life intervenes for Jock Jones, and a big hit. First extra base hit of the night for the Twins, and they extend their lead.
So a 2-0 Minnesota lead, and a 1-0 pitch is blowing away 2-0. To quote Torrey Hunter, he said, "I'll take my chances with their pitching right now." Looking at tonight's Game 1 starter as Jock Jones reacts. Emotional time for him. 2-0 pitch is hit through the left side for Hunter. First time he's been on base tonight. It's Messina tonight for the Yankees, and John Lieber against Brad Radke in Game 2. And I would put my money on Kevin Brown in Game 3, maybe Javier Vasquez in Game 3 against Carlos Silva in Minnesota. But right now, Joe Torre is worried about Game 1, dealing with Santana and trailing 2-0 in the 6th. Here's Justin Morneau. Ball 1.
We asked Joe Torre before the game if the Yankees needed a long reliever in the 5th or 6th inning, who would he use? He said, well, it's a good question, because of him being in doubt as to who he's going to use to start Game 3 on Friday in Minnesota. It would probably be Tanyon Sturtz, the first up in the bullpen, and he has just done a terrific job lately for the Yankees.
It is a long shot at this point that Orlando El Duque Hernandez will make a start in this division series, bothered by what they term as a dead arm. No pain, but he just has no life to it. His fastball's coming in at 82 to 84 miles per hour, the most.
Pitching against the Toronto Blue Jays over the weekend, and I think it was last Friday, and throwing one lollipop after another.
Here's a 1-1. Strike 2 on Morneau. So then you look at a guy like Kevin Brown, who came back, you know the story, punched a wall in the Yankee clubhouse in frustration, broke his left hand. At least it was his left hand. But missed time, came back, got shelled at Boston. But in his final start over the weekend, pitched 5 innings, allowed no earned runs, 1 hit against Toronto, and he may be the Game 3 starter for the Yankees. That's inside, 2-2 on Morneau. Javier Vasquez was an all-star this year in the American League, had a good first half, but his mechanics were all out of whack in the second half, and he really struggled. So they don't know what they have after Messina. They do know they have Lieber tomorrow night. Morneau chased it, 2 out. Strikeout number 6 for the New York right-hander. So you look at the replay, and Tim, I mean, this is going according to plan for the Minnesota Twins. They came in here knowing that they've got their best going tonight. They've got a guy who's been a big game pitcher for them and has pitched well in Radke going tomorrow night, and they showed up here tonight to take on New York.
It may be too soon to talk about it, but if Ron Gardenhire and the Twins are up 2-1 in Game 4, would you bring Santana back and pitch Game 4 in Minnesota on Saturday? I don't think so. I think you're saving the Game 5 if there is one, and that game would be played here on Sunday at Yankee Stadium. But a lot of baseball before that is assumed.
1 ball, no strikes. Strike 1 on Koski.
Third time through the order, Messina is giving the Minnesota Twins hitters a different look. And I'm sure he's thinking he wished he had given Jock Jones a different look.
1 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner goes. Got a great jump. Torrey Hunter basically walks down to second base.
Now, the only thing a catcher could do in a play like this is throw to third and cut him off. Torrey Hunter guessing with Messina, and he guessed right. Posada with no chance.
Well, that makes it easier on Koski trying to add to this 2-0 Minnesota lead. He has a hit tonight. That's wide, ball 3. The Twins were led this year by Torrey Hunter with 81 RBIs. They're the first team since the 1990 Reds to get into the playoffs without a player driving in 90 or more runs. It's a well-balanced attack. Koski during the regular season hit 25 home runs and drove in 71. 2 on with 2 out. It is 10 o'clock, straight up in the East. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, our producer Pete Macheska, our director Billy Webb. This is game 1 of the division series, and it has been pitching and defense dominated so far. Twins have turned 4 double plays. That ties a division series record. Jock Jones, who flew all night back from California. His father passed away on Thursday, just hit a home run in the 6th inning to make it 2-0. Cena's pitched well, but it has not been good enough tonight to this point. 2 forward, strike 1. We talk defense, and here's how it has looked tonight. Shannon Stewart with a grab on a ball hit by Ruben Sierra early. The play at the plate as Torrey Hunter threw out Jorge Posada. That kept it 0-0, and then one double play after another. 4 tonight turned by the Twins to back up the pitching of Santana. And here's an 0-1. Smothered by Posada. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was the first walk, by the way, tonight by Messina. And I don't think it really breaks his heart that after falling behind Koski, he puts him on with a walk.
No. The right-handed pitchers in this ballpark certainly have to pitch differently with that short porch in right field and a power hitter like Koski up.
Here's a 1-1. Ford was flinching. It's high, 2-1. Posada out to chat. The Yankees in the bottom of the 6th inning will have Rodriguez, Sheffield, and Bernie Williams.
I think Mel Stottlemyre noticed that Messina dropped down on that last knuckle curveball. I think as much as anything, that's usually what gets a pitching coach on the phone to the bullpen, is dropping down and seeing pitchers lead with their elbow, falling under the breaking ball in particular, and keeping the ball up.
Here's a 2-1. Left side for Rodriguez. And another wild throw, but saved by Olerud, and the inning is over. Playing with a heavy heart, Jock Jones doubles the Minnesota lead. Home run the opposite way. 2-0 Twins here in Yankee Stadium. The Yankees have had 8 men on through the first 5 innings, but have done nothing with the opportunities. This crowd wants to see some action, and they want to see something get started by Alex Rodriguez, who takes a ball. You can pile up all the stats you want, regarded by many as the best player in the game today. He's got the biggest contract in professional sports. So accomplished. Not even 30 years old. But having to do it in October in a Yankee uniform, and he's on to start the 6th.
We talked about it earlier. That's the slot that Rodriguez, when he's going well, that's where he shoots the ball. We also had that graphic earlier saying only 23 hits this year to right field.
The MVP of the American League may very well be Vladimir Guerrero. But there is nobody in my mind that's meant more to their team than Gary Sheffield has to this New York Yankee club. Playing through pain. And you'd never know it by that swing as he flails at a changeup.
Sheffield becoming unhinged. Had a good changeup, and that might be the best pitch that Santana's thrown all night.
Sheffield had 2 cortisone injections on the 19th of September. Trying to numb the pain in that left shoulder. And a little pop-up. Backing out of play, strike 2. And 2. Morneau and Alex Rodriguez talk it over at first. Sheffield wiggling at the plate. He didn't go. Pretty good pitch anyway, and it's ball 1.
That was a very close pitch and an excellent changeup. And the Yankees get the call. Home plate umpire Charlie Relaford says it was high. That was very, very close.
Top of that, it looked like he offered at it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gary Sheffield pops it up. Foul. Blanco a long run. Out of play. Still 1-2. After Sheffield, it's Bernie Williams. After Williams, it's Posada. And thanks to the Jock Jones home run in the top of this inning, it's 2-0 Minnesota.
You can imagine, Joe, the dilemma that right-handed hitters have against Santana. I think the 4 pitches that he's thrown to Gary Sheffield so far, it's the best he's worked the Yankee hitter tonight. Sheffield has been looking for a fastball when he got the changeup and a changeup when he's gotten the fastball.
Sheffield looks like he's ready to jump out of his shoes.
He does.
About as vicious a swing as you'll find anywhere.
And he guesses right here. Looking for the fastball, gets it, and it crowds him just a little bit.
The second time Relaford, the home plate umpire, has been drilled. Sheffield with 4 career postseason home runs. First year with the Yankees. That's another foul. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming here. Sheffield trying to find that groove again. He ended the season in a 9-for-45 drought. He's 0-for-1 with a walk tonight. Shattered bat. Shortstop Guzman. Kadir fires late. And if nothing else, the Yankees just avoided their 5th double play of the night.
Because Sheffield did not hit it hard enough. Let's take a look at the pitch sequence. Gary totally befuddled. Fouling off a couple of pitches. And then he holds up. And then the changeup. And now the breaking ball sawing off the bat. The bat head goes toward third. The ball toward Guzman. And they get the fielder's choice. That was a terrific job of moving the ball in and out, changing speeds to Gary Sheffield.
Bernie Williams now. 1 on, 1 out. Into center field, and that's easy for Hunter. 2 out. So the Yankees, who have put men on in every inning, they continue to put the leadoff man on. It's happened 5 innings now, and there's 6 opportunities. Have a runner at first, 2 down, and Jorge Posada walking in. Posada 1 for 2. Sheffield at first, 2 out, ball 1.
Situation where you have a 2-run lead with 2 out. Jorge Posada, pull hitter. Koski not on the line at third, but he's leaning toward the line to protect against the extra base hit. You don't want second and third. You give them first and second, more or less.
Santana still throwing hard, gets a 93-mile-per-hour fastball by the bat of Posada. Tying run at the plate for the Yankees, and that's strike 2.
You know Posada was looking for the changeup then. That's normally a ball that Posada just rakes. Took the fastball right down the middle. He may get the change here.
Left side base hit. It's 2 on, 2 out for Matsui. So with Matsui walking in, we'll give you Budweiser's Fantasy Player of the Week after the replay of the base hit by Posada to give a scoring opportunity yet again to the Yankees. Vladimir Guerrero is the Fantasy Player of the Week. Log on to foxsports.com. Keyword Fantasy Baseball. Today's game brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. He is our Player of the Year with a .337 average, 39 home runs, the 126 RBIs, helping to lead the Angels to the top in the AL West.
Honey Joe, Posada did get the changeup, but watch how Blanco has to move his glove from there to the inside part. So the changeup was a good speed, but a bad location.
Matsui. Ball 1. Matsui is singled and doubled. He has the only extra base hit tonight for New York. Got a good swing at that pitch, 1-1.
Good swing at a bad pitch. That was a fat slider that Matsui misses. Boy.
Runner at second is Sheffield. He can still run a little. Posada on at first, 2 out. 2-0 Minnesota, 6th inning, game 1. On the inside corner, strike 2.
That takes some guts in this stadium after a hitter of Matsui's strength has just fouled back a pitch on the inside to come right back in there, and he gets the call on the corner.
Did not go, says the third base umpire Mike Everett. And the at-bat for Matsui lives on.
After the fastball inside the slider, Yankees got a call and a break, in my view.
Right side, Cuddyer. And the Yankees leave 2 more. They have stranded 6. We go to the 7th. 2-0 Minnesota out in front in game 1 behind Santana. Back after this from your local Fox station. Bottom 3 in the order for the Twins. Top of the 7th, and a bender is in there for a strike from Messina. Messina's pitched very well. He's allowed 2 runs on 6 hits. The Yankees no runs on 8 hits. Only 1 walk and 6 strikeouts for Messina tonight. He's 0-1. 0-2. Santana. Usually you see a guy get congratulations. He's finished, but there's nobody up in the Twins bullpen right now. That was just a congratulations on getting out of the 6th. Getting out of trouble all night long as Guzman stays alive.
Mike Messina and Johan Santana both have 1 complete game apiece, and they're not pitching like it.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Guzman rolls it over to first. Foul ball. You look at the Yankees dugout in that statistic. They have not been shut out back-to-back games in their postseason history. Now 317 games. They were shut out in Game 6 of the World Series last year by Beckett. So far, another young guy, the 25-year-old left-hander, Johan Santana. Here's an 0-2 to Guzman. Leading off into center field for Bernie Williams. 1 out. A reminder for Thursday night, Game 2 of the division series between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Jason Marquis against Jeff Weaver, the former Yankee. With 1 out, nobody on, here is Kadire. Scored the first run of the night. Oh, goodness. Right back through the middle, and it somehow missed Mike Messina.
Boy, that was close.
Oh, that took my breath away. 1 on, 1 out.
Oh, wow. That was a nape of the neck shaver right there. Get down, Mike. Wow, that was close.
So now Mel Stottlemyre will trot out and talk as the bullpen will get busy for the Yankees. 1 on, 1 out here for Blanco. Kadire with 2 base hits now. And again, he's playing at second base tonight. Their other second baseman, Luis Rivas, has a sore throwing elbow, his right elbow. And so they've gone with Kadire, and that bat, having it in the lineup, has paid off.
There are some managers too, Joe, that I think if you have a lead in the last 3 innings, that if you have a weak hitter up, that with 1 out, it's not that bad to sacrifice. It looks like Gardenhire is putting something on with Al Newman, who just whistled over to Kadire at first base, telling Blanco to back up and to back out of the batter's box. And the first pitch or two, if they're not bunting, get the count in your favor and then send the runner. Try for a first and third situation.
So we'll see if even with 1 out, if the Twins want to bunt. Blanco got 1 down in the 3rd inning. Got Kadire down to second, and he scored on a hit by Stewart. Messina very good at keeping runners close at first. Yankees pitch out. Ball 1. We're in the top of the 7th inning, Game 1 of this best-of-5 series. There's the situation with Newman going through the signs. Kadire on at first in the top picture, and Blanco at the plate. Two 2-0 Twins. A 1-0 pitch. Runners now going. Throw down to second. Kadire. Out. 2 out.
Not imperative that a runner gets a good jump on a hit and run situation. It's up to the hitter to put the ball in play. fine throw by Posada to get Cuddyer.
A tag by Cairo, 2 out. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Blanco. 2-1. So the Yankees may have pitched out into a running situation. They pitched out with the first delivery.
Well said.
Yep. And then the Twins took off on the second pitch with Cuddyer. That's strike 2 on Blanco.
Yeah, sometimes if a team's not thinking about it, by your pitching out, you talk them into it.
Time to stretch. We are in game 1. It's 2-0, middle of the 7th. Right now we will join Metropolitan Opera star Morris Robinson, who will perform God Bless America during this 7th inning stretch. Morris makes his way out of the Yankee dugout. Here's his introduction.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise? And please direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate. And welcome Mr. Morris Robinson, a former 2-time All-American football player at the Citadel, and now a talented performer at the Metropolitan Opera. In honor of the servicemen and women stationed around the globe, Mr. Robinson will now sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the valley, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the valley, to the ocean, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Oh, God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The Division Series on Fox is brought to you by Singular Wireless, by Visa, it's everywhere you want to be, and by UPS, what can Brown do for you? What an unbelievable rendition by Morris Robinson of God Bless America. And it's worth only a mention that last year Ron Gardenhire was at least critical of how long it took Ronan Tynan in Game 2 to sing God Bless America, and the delay with Radke pitching. He was pitching well, came back out, hit the first batter in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Yankees went on to win that game. As the pitch misses up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now you've got a young left-hander who had that long layoff. But in my opinion, and I'm sure in Ron Gardenhire's opinion, it was worth every minute listening to Morris. That was beautiful.
Breathtaking.
Here's a 1-1. In the air to left. down the line, hooking into the corner. This ball is fair and a home run. It's 2-1. And we're going to have an argument.
Now left field umpire Jerry Crawford, who is the crew chief, is going to consult with third base umpire Mike Everett.
And now they're going to bring Charlie Relaford in. So the three guys down the line. Relaford, Everett, and Crawford.
The two guys you paid attention to for the Twins, third baseman Corey Koski and Henry Blanco, the catcher, and it's now ruled a foul ball.
And Joe Torre will come out and have his say.
Sometimes if you're an umpire looking right down the line, you can imagine with the coats, the fall clothing, the white shirts, the lights, that's clearly a foul ball. They got it right.
This is such a monumental change, and it's happened, I would say, Tim, in the last 4 years or so?
Right.
With umpires getting together in a little conference to make sure they get the call right, to ask for help. Santana and Blanco knew it right away, and they got the call right. So Jerry Crawford, who was closest to it, and the crew chief, was not too proud to ask for help. He got it, and they got the call correct.
That was a ball from the vantage point of Joe Torre. He could see it also, and he knew they got it correct.
Now the count's 2-2 on Ruben Sierra. Now Sierra backs out of there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sierra, Olerud, and Cairo, the bottom 3 in the lineup here in the 7th inning for New York. Down 2-0. And a changeup gets Sierra. We'll give you our Nissan game summary as we play here in the 7th inning, bottom half. Starting pitching as good as advertised. Santana has been helped by the double plays. But when he's had to make nasty pitches, he's made them. You see where the Twins have done the top of their order. 4 for 9 with a home run and both RBIs. At bottom note, the Yankees have lost their last 3 game 1s. That'll play in left center field. It's Stewart 2 out. And just to finish the story about Gardenhire, he said, look, I was an Army brat as a kid going from base to base. There's nothing to do with patriotism. I'm as patriotic as any guy you're going to run across. He was just talking about what it did within the game and the delay between the top and the bottom half of the 7th for his pitcher Radke last year in game 2. And I'm sure this year he won't say a word about it, just to avoid the issue altogether. 2 out, nobody on for the number 9 man, Cairo.
Brad Radke, the starter tomorrow. Game time 7 o'clock on ESPN. Funny, the currency down in Venezuela, the Bolivar, and Ron telling us yesterday that when he played winter ball in 1981 in Venezuela, it was 4 B's, they call it, B as in boy, 4 Bolivars to $1. Today, inflation is so rampant, 1,950 B's to $1 in Venezuela now. Santana from Tovar, Merida, which is in the southern part of Venezuela. A little mountain town near the Colombian border. And some of the Venezuelan players are very, very upset because obviously their salaries are reported throughout the country and loved ones could be in jeopardy because of a rash of kidnappings near the Colombian border.
Cairo gets into one to left center field. Stewart on the run, won't get it. A Another hit for the Yankees. It's a 2-out double for Cairo.
Base runners in every inning for the New York Yankees. Cairo connects the second extra base hit for the Yankees in this game, and that'll bring up Jeter. And speaking of the Bolivars, the Bees in Venezuela, the Yankees have their money man at the plate right now.
Who else in October would you want to have at the plate? And a guy with 124 career postseason hits, Derek Jeter. Playing in his 100th postseason game. Now action starts for the Twins out in their bullpen. Very good right-hander Juan Rincon, who has developed into the right-handed setup man with a hard-throwing Joe Nathan, a guy they believe someday will be a closer himself. It's Jeter with a runner at second, 2 out, and the Twins up 2-0 in the 7th.
Jeter thought this ball was high, but the Twins get the call. There have been a lot of close pitches thrown by Messina and Santana.
Jeter with the outfield playing him to hit it the other way. Waits for a 1-1. Strike 2. And Santana has Jeter set up. Johan has struck out 5 tonight.
3 straight fastballs high and in on the hands to Derek Jeter. Jeter, of course, one of the better 2-strike hitters in baseball. He often hits the ball the other way with 2 strikes.
Fights it off and fouls it off to the right, out of play.
So far during this at bat, Jeter has not been able to catch up to the high fastball.
Santana and Blanco can't get together on what to throw. Left side, Guzman. Easy does it over to first. The Yankees strand number 7 on the night, plus the 4 double plays. The Yankees came oh so close, about that close, to getting on the board for the first time tonight. Still 2-0 after 7 in game 1. The vice presidential debate is over. We are playing at Yankee Stadium here in the Bronx, game 1 of this division series, and we move into the 8th inning. The Twins up 2-0. And Tom Gordon takes over for Mike Messina, who went 7, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, walked 1, struck out 7, pitched very well. But so far, Johan Santana, who may be finished for the night, has been a little better. And Shannon Stewart represents the top of the order for the Twins. facing Gordon, who's been so busy and so good for Joe Torre this year. The congratulations for Santana, who will hand it off to his bullpen in this 8th inning.
7 shutout innings and a terrific defensive display by the Twins tonight.
9 hits. But there have been 4 double plays turned behind him. And a runner lost at the plate on the part of the Yankees thanks to a perfect throw from Torrey Hunter back in the 2nd. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Gordon on Shannon Stewart is 2 for 3. Weak swing. Cairo. 1 out. Let's get you caught up. Give you the headlines from tonight. 4 double plays. Great defense. Santana, terrific. Home run from Jack Jones. That made it 2-0. It's still 2-0, and Jack Jones is at the plate. He fouled it off to the right. And Gordon made the put out at first, but it was a foul ball all the way. Charlie Relaford calling it. Strike 1.
Charlie Relaford called this immediately off the right, the outside of the right foot of Jack Jones. Of course, Olerud completes the play. The first base umpire, Mark Wegner, could not tell, but Relaford called it right away.
Looked like it glanced off the top of the right shoe. And went down to Olerud, who knew it. But the crowd reacted as they thought they had out number 2. Stewart grounded out. Jack Jones with 1 out. 95 miles per hour. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the bottom of this 8th inning, the Yankees, it appears they'll be hitting against a fresh Juan Rincon, will have Alex Rodriguez, Gary Sheffield, and Bernie Williams, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. And they'll be trailing by at least 2. Here's a 1-1. In the air to left field. Is that deep enough? Back at the track for out number 2. Jones went the opposite way for a home run in the 6th. This one falls a little short.
Looks like he got under that curveball from Tom Gordon just a wee bit. The home run he hit to left field was like a laser line drive. But that a little lazy fly ball. Jack, not quite enough of it.
So with 2 out and nobody on, here's Torrey Hunter. Nasty pitch, strike 1. Hunter has a hit and a stolen base tonight. Santana will end up going 7. You know, it was no runs on 9 hits, struck out 5, walked 1, and hit about it. Weak swings by Hunter. 0-2. With 2 out, Hunter takes ball 1. First half of the year, the Yankees had 1, 2, 3 in appearances. The games pitched in the American League. Quantrill, Gordon, and Rivera. Starting rotation not getting deep enough into games to take the load off this bullpen, and Quantrill still isn't right. With 2 out, nobody on. Hunter lines 1 into right. Sheffield back to get it. Nice play. Ball was scorched. And we go into the bottom of the 8th inning. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for New York. They'll take on the Minnesota bullpen. 2-0 Twins. The Division Series on Fox brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge, by the makers of Pepcid Complete, fast, long-lasting relief for your tough heartburn. And by Rico, how well do you share? Again, up above, providing aerial coverage for tonight's game, AmeriQuest Airship Liberty. Liberty is the airship of the AmeriQuest Mortgage Company, the official mortgage company of Major League Baseball. We slide into the bottom of the 8th inning. New second baseman Luis Rivas, bothered by a sore right elbow, and on the mound is Juan Rincon, taking over for Santana. A-Rod into deep right center field. At the wall, a leap. Torrey Hunter, he's got it. Torrey Hunter without number 1 in the 8th. And the tremendous defense by the Twins continues.
He is an acrobat in the outfield. You may remember at Miller Park, the All-Star game several years ago, the 7-7 tie, the play that Hunter made against Barry Bonds in the first inning. He does this all the time. That ball was almost dislodged when Torrey ran into the wall. It rattles around in the heel of the glove right there. Brilliant play by Torrey Hunter.
There's a word that comes to mind when you watch Torrey Hunter do that, and that word is fearless.
He is.
Full speed into the wall, up to get it, and he does not mind banging into that wall. Put a star next to that play as Sheffield takes ball 2-0. That was almost a rattling welcome to the game for Juan Rincon by Alex Rodriguez.
Torrey's the type of center fielder who should wear a helmet in the outfield. He bangs into so many fences.
Here's a 2-0 to Sheffield. 3-0. All Rodriguez can do is shake his head in the dugout as Sheffield takes a 1-out walk. Let's go back to August 19th. You want to see fearless? Torrey Hunter against Posada. And he was knocked out. Said he couldn't breathe after banging into a metal rod that's behind that wall. And there he is coming to. But I don't know anybody that goes into or at a wall harder than Torrey Hunter.
No.
They meet on the mound, and here is Torrey Hunter with more on that play in center field, and that ball hit by Posada August 19th.
I caught the ball, but when I hit the pole, it was an iron pole behind the plastic bag. And the iron pole, I didn't know it was there for all those years. You know, I hit it, and I hit my head on it. I was out there, man. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't do anything. And I thought I was gonna die. And all I could see is Josh Jones, wake up! Wake up! Come on, wake up!
This crowd is alive. Hunter is deep in center as Bernie Williams takes a vicious rip. And that foul tip caught Henry Blanco, the Minnesota catcher. Tying run at the plate for New York. 1 on, 1 out, 8th inning. And Rivera's getting loose in the Yankee bullpen.
Juan Rincon features a sinker and a slider. And normally sinker-slider pitchers, when they need the double play ball, they go to the sinker. It's more apt to be hit on the ground. I know that sounds simplistic, but true.
On the outside corner, strike 2.
With the sinker. Watch Rincon hit the mitt of his battery mate.
Oh, 2. Bounces in there, and Blanco turned himself into a wall. Posada on deck. No action for the Twins in their bullpen.
I think Rincon just wanted to show Bernie Williams that fastball down and in. He'll probably go back out there. Yep.
And Williams did everything he could to lay off, and he did. 2-2.
Yeah, you don't get ground balls by pitching guys inside. The way you get the ground outs on balls away.
2-0 Twins, 8th inning. 1 on, 1 out.
Another sinker away.
Might be another double play. 6-4-3. That's 5 double plays turned tonight by the Minnesota defense. The defense shines in the inning for the Twins as they try to take game 1. Hunter started it, going up to get it. 9th inning. 2-0 Minnesota. A maintenance appearance for Mariano Rivera, trying to keep it 2-0. Beginning this weekend, Oscar De La Hoya and the next great champ are moving to the new home on FSN. It all starts this weekend with an encore presentation of the first 4 shows and continues next weekend with a brand new episode. The next great champ is now only on FSN. Mariano Rivera's job is to keep it 2-0. His numbers for the regular season, his numbers for the postseason in his career are stunning.
It is rare that you see Mariano Rivera coming into a game with the Yankees trailing by 2 runs in the 9th inning. But in a sense, he is trying to keep it at 2-0.
His first pitch to Justin Morneau is on the inside corner for a strike.
What am I talking about? In a sense, he's trying to keep it 2-0.
I wasn't going to call you on that. I'll let it go.
In a sense. Does that mean?
No balls, 1 strike. That's another broken bat. 1 out here in the 9th inning. Koski will walk in. It's okay. Joe Nathan is getting ready for the Twins out in their bullpen. Looking forward to a save opportunity with Posada, Matsui, and Sierra coming up for the Yankees in the bottom of this 9th inning.
I was just thinking about that jam shot. I mean, you cannot hit a bat inside without hitting somebody in the arm and jamming them that much. You can't get jammed any worse than that. My gosh. Shattered Morneau's bat.
Here's Koski, 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. And a fastball misses high. Career postseason ERA for Mariano Rivera, who's worked just under 100 innings, is 0.75. The lowest all time. With a minimum of 30 innings pitched in the postseason. The lowest all time. And we've said it every October, pretty much. I'll say after 96, because
since
Rivera,
97, yeah.
Rivera was setting up Wetland in 96. But this guy, you can make the case, has been the most valuable Yankee, closing out 1 game after another for Joe Torre in the playoffs and in the World Series. One and 2 on Koski. Division series, his ERA 0.27, 13 saves and 14 chances. He's perfect in the LCS, 8 for 8. And in the World Series, 9 for 10. He was on the mound when Luis Gonzalez hit that game-winning flare back in 2001.
And you saw that 13 and 14 in the division series. The only blown save and a loss was the home run hit by Sandy Alomar Jr. for the Cleveland Indians back in '97.
Here's a 2-2 to Koski. I guess it's one thing to throw 93-94. It's another to throw 93-94 with cut action on it, bearing in on these left-handed hitters.
Cut control.
They very rarely center the ball on their bat. Another 2-2 pitch to Koski. ESPN will have game 2 of this series tomorrow night at 7 Eastern, an hour earlier. And then our next game on Fox will be Thursday night in St. Louis for the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Sheet of 5 double plays, tying a postseason record. You have to go back to 1914. Find the last time that happened. 2-2 pitch. Koski with a ground ball to Olrud. Nice play to his right, 2 out. Back in 1914, the Philadelphia A's and the Boston Braves turned 5 double plays in the game. Philadelphia A's accomplished that, and the Twins have done it tonight against the Yankees. Here's Lou Ford with the bases empty again. It'll be big bats in the bottom of the 9th against Nathan. Posada, Matsui, and Sierra. With 2 out, nobody on, Lou Ford 0 for 3, strike 1.
There has never been a pitcher of the particular talent of Mariano Rivera, a guy who could throw one pitch and be as successful as he has been. Like trying to hit a 10-pound barbell with a wooden bat.
Look at that, 95 at the knees. 0-2. Yankee fans will make some noise in the bottom of this inning. Ford battling. Nathan getting ready.
Joe, baseball only weighs 5 1/3 ounces, but the way Rivera throws it, you'd never know it. He adds weight to an orb.
Ford waits for an 0-2 pitch. Hammers up. Trying to tomahawk it. It's still 0-2. Torrey Hunter said that the Twins would not come in here and be scared tonight. Behind their 25-year-old ace, they certainly have not been. Played with poise, turned great defensive plays, 5 double plays, thrown a man out at the plate, made a catch at the top of the wall. And now they ask their closer, Joe Nathan, to get the save. There's who's coming up. Bottom of the 9th, game 1, 2-0 Twins.
We're number 1. We're number 1. We're number...
Hitting a homer, it's the greatest thrill in baseball.
Starting Sunday, November 7th, the only place to see new episodes of The Simpsons is Fox.
29-year-old Joe Nathan, who came into this season with 1 big league save. Last year set up for the Giants. The Twins made a deal to get him, and he has blossomed. 1.62 ERA, 44 saves, but this is a different world. Game 1 of the division series, Yankee Stadium up 2-0. Posada first up for New York. .95 miles per hour, but ball 1. In the air to right center field. Should be out number 1. Jones squeezes it, 1 down. During the regular season, 61 times Joe Torre's team got up off the deck and came back to win a game. That's the most in Major League history since 1900. Messina on the hook for the loss. If he gets it, he'll be 5-6 in his career in the postseason, with a lot of hard luck losses along the way, and this would be in that category. He pitched well. Santana dodged trouble. Went 7 shutout innings, allowing 9 hits. A strike to Matsui from Nathan.
Gotta go home.
A weak fly ball into left field off the bat of Matsui. The Twins are 1 out away from taking game 1, as they did last year in a matchup against the Yankees. The Yankees have lost game 1 in 7 of their last 10 series. That includes all of their postseason series last year, which saw them get to the World Series to lose in 6 games to the Marlins.
And when you're leading by 2 runs in the 9th inning, your closer or any other pitcher goes under the theory that a walk is as damaging as a home run.
Ball 1 to Sierra.
That's why Joe Nathan will endeavor to throw a fastball in a fastball count to fastball hitters. As he did to Posada and Matsui.
Sierra 0 for 3 tonight. 2-0. Olerud on deck.
Sierra should be taking here. Yankees trailing by 2. They need a base runner.
It's a different game. 2 balls and a strike.
Yep.
Two and 1 from Nathan, a former shortstop in the Giants organization. Giants switched him to the mound. He quit, walked away from the game, had to write a letter to the Giants to ask back. They let him back. 3 years later, he worked his way into the bullpen. And last year for Felipe Alou, set up and did a great job, good enough for the Twins to notice, and they traded Pierzynski to get him. What a year he's had, trying to nail down game 1. Full count. Into right center field, going to get it, Jones. The Twins win game 1. And Tim, tonight they did it with pitching and defense.
This was the most uncharacteristic game for the 2 starters tonight and for the way the Yankees have been going. What a job by the defense of the Minnesota Twins. Strong 7 innings from Santana, then Rincon and Nathan to finish it up.
Torrey Hunter saying, I'll take my chances with their pitching right now. The Yankees lose with Messina. The Twins win with Johan Santana. A final of 2-0 in game 1. We'll come back to Yankee Stadium right after this. The 25-year-old coming off the regular season, his first year as a starter, and picking up where he left off. He hasn't lost in 3 months, and he's the winner in game 1 tonight at Yankee Stadium. Let's check in again with Kenny Albert. Kenny?
Well, Joan, with one of many Minnesota Twins heroes from this Game 1 victory, Jock Jones. And Jock, obviously an emotional week with the passing of your dad. What went through your mind when your home run left the ballpark?
A little bit of relief, helping my team out, Pat and Johan to lead. He's been throwing the ball great all year, and giving him a 2-run lead was probably huge for him.
Now talk about the defense. 5 double plays, the catch by Torrey Hunter, and the throw by Torrey to nail Posada at the plate.
Well, Torrey's got a strong arm. He's a great defensive center fielder. Johan uses defense when he needed to. He didn't rely on the strikeout all night tonight. That's what we got to win games. We got to pitch and play defense, and we did that well tonight.
Similar script last season. Twins win game 1 at Yankee Stadium. What's different about your club this year? Last year, of course, you lost the next 3.
I wouldn't say it's really different. we've just been playing well like the second half of the season, and we don't have a day off tomorrow, which was huge. We had one last year, and I think that kind of stopped momentum, so hopefully we can carry it into tomorrow.
All right, Jack, congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, thanks, and our thanks to Jack Jones, a very likable group, the Minnesota Twins, and they have come in here not wide-eyed but excited, and they take game 1 2-0. Santana over Messina and a save for Nathan. They will play game 2 tomorrow night, as Jack talked about. Our game 2 on Fox will be on Thursday night. The Dodgers at the Cardinals from St. Louis, Busch Stadium, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox. A night that featured great pitching, tremendous defense, and a victory for the Minnesota Twins in game 1.
It's a wonderful night, you gotta take it from me. It's a wonderful night, it's a wonderful night, you gotta shake it from me. It's a wonderful night, girl, I want it, you got it. Your body's like a narcotic, the thought is autoerotic. Come on and break it on down. Can I get it on credit against your brick house? I bet it, take it as far as you let it. Come on and break it on down.
From all of us in the Bronx, 2-0 Twins, game 1. Back to Jeannie and Kevin in the Fox Television Center.
About every inning and constantly come away with nothing.
I can't say as I have, Mike. It's you know, it was one of those things. We felt good about ourselves. We were aggressive. We were patient when we needed to be. You know, all those things worked right. But the final score didn't work out well. I mean, we had 5 double plays in every which, we contributed in a lot of different ways. I mean, a strikeout, throw out, a potential sacrifice fly, and ball even sailed on Torrey out there. He jumped up and still threw the runner out at the plate. And then 3 balls that were hit pretty good for the ground ball double plays. But it's one of those things. We were prepared to play. We played well, and all the questions early in the game. I mean, earlier today about our pitching. Mike Messina was terrific. I mean, 2 runs in 7 innings. That's pretty good, but not good enough.
Who else? Anything else for Joe? Okay, Bob.
You mentioned Santana perhaps not having his best stuff. What did you see? How different was he from other times you've seen him?
Well, I probably shouldn't have said it because he throws the ball 94, 95 miles an hour, but I think probably location. He probably didn't locate the ball as well as he did against us last week, or he has in the second half. And that's what pitching's all about, is location. And, as they say, when he needed to get a ground ball, he certainly got one.
One more if there's anything? Okay. Yes, Sweeney. Sorry, I can't see you back there.
That's what I said.
Go ahead, Sweeney.
Before.
Just ask it. Go ahead.
You didn't know about El Duque after we talked to you before? His bullpen, how he came out of that?
Earlier, you didn't know about El Duque when they spoke to you before. Do you know how he made out in the bullpen?
Yeah, he didn't bullpen. He played catch, and no change. It's still a fingers crossed proposition for the end of the week.
Last one, Mike.
Joe, could you just talk generally about the way the kid fought you on a night when he didn't have his best stuff?
Yeah, well, no question. I mean, he's had limited experience. He experienced in postseason last year. He's got a lot of poise out there. And I think that what really has to impress you is the fact when, you're not locating the ball, and, he's obviously spoiled everybody on his ball club the way he's pitched the second half, that in a postseason game he kept us cool. He didn't fall apart, and, as I say, we tested him. We made him work hard, and when he needed to make that pitch, he made it, even though we hit some balls hard they were hit on the ground.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
One ball the Yankees hit hard in the air was in the bottom of the 7th when Ruben Sierra came up and popped that one out to left field. The original call was a home run, and then they switch it. How big of a deal is that in terms of just baseball getting it right when baseball tends to get things wrong sometimes?
Well, that's one of the things that Sandy Alderson wanted to do when he changed the whole alignment of umpires and how they were going to call ball games, was to get together, get the calls right, and that's exactly what they did in the game tonight. Jerry Crawford was the third base left field umpire. He went out initially, like you said, he called it a home run. He came back, got together with Mike Everett, the third base umpire, and Charlie Rutherford, the home plate ump, and they decided this ball's foul. And sometimes when you get out in the outfield, you lose it in the lights, and that might have been what happened to Jerry initially, and then you end up thinking you might have seen something else. And obviously Gardenhire came out complaining, and Ruben says, I'm
he was getting into the dugout.
So immediately, though, everybody, the catcher and the pitcher and the third baseman, anybody on that side of the field protested instantly, and that's when you knew you were going to have a little bit of a problem. And as you see right here, they all convene, the third base ump and the home plate umpire, and they say, how did you see it? And that's basically what they're saying right now. You had a better vantage point. I saw it clearly, foul. And he says, all right, let me humble myself, foul ball. And, you give Jerry Crawford some credit, and you give the umpires credit for getting the play right, because that ended up being a very big play in this ball game, because now you go into the 8th and 9th inning only 1 run down, and as opposed to being down 2.
Right, and with Juan Rincon and Joe Nathan on the mound for the Twins, that's pretty much the lights out, has been all season long. Hale Reynolds, thanks for joining us. We'll be on Baseball Tonight later on ESPN.
Absolutely. All
right, we're going to listen now to Ron Gardenhire on the podium in the Bronx on ESPN News.
Hard for him to feel the ball out there. His hand was a little cold, but he pitched. His heart was unbelievable tonight. He kept battling and making pitches when he had to. Like I said, you're facing a lineup over there that every time you turn around, a man's on base, you got a chance for a 2-run home run. And I think he pitched with a lot of heart tonight. Some pretty good stuff too, but a lot of heart.
Murray, grab the mic behind you.
Jesus. My bad.
I just want to know, Ron, how long he's been working on that double play pitch.
Well, we have a tendency to catch the ball and turn some double plays, and it's not usual. That's not a usual thing for Johan, because there's not that many that get on base if you've looked at his numbers this year. But we can catch the ball, and he knows he can always go to that sinker if he has to. And tonight we made some plays. I think you'll see Torrey Hunter probably stepped up and played the game like we see him do all the time. Some catches in center field, a great throw. We turned 4 or 5 double plays. I don't even know. That's our game. We do that, and we can turn some double plays, but Johan, he battled his tail off and made pitches when he had to and got the ground balls.
Mark, over there.
Ron, just given what Jock obviously went through this weekend, were you surprised to see him step up like that, or what can you say about the way he did step up?
Well, I think he has a pretty big heart, and we know that he's going through a lot right now, but I think a lot of guys on the team expected to see him do something special tonight, and I think we all know why. I think that's supposed to happen. Him supposed to hit a home run. He said he was going to do something tonight, and he did. And I tell you, it was a good moment in the dugout. He needed that. Our team needed that, but Jock needed that for himself, and that was a real big moment in our dugout.
Jerry.
Yeah, could you elaborate a little bit about the dugout and the reaction to it, or your own reaction when he hit the ball?
Well, I mean, he hit it, you never know. He opposite field, and he's very strong that way. He can drive the ball that way, and I guess it was one of those, when he hit it, everybody jumped up, and most of the time in the dugout, guys are cheering, but everybody was clapping. I think everybody wanted to see that for Jock in our dugout. We know what he's been, going through, so I think everybody, and that was a great moment.
Couple more? Okay, Bob.
The foul home run. You're obviously in that third base. You can't see anything. Just describe what you were going through then.
I was just running out there because everybody's rolling their hands up, tell you the truth. And I just wanted them to make sure we got it right. And I actually was staring right at Ruben. And when Ruben hit it, he started to go, and then he stopped. And then he saw him point fair, and then he took off again. So I was kind of thinking he knew it was foul too, because he stopped. And then I ran out there, and all my guys were holding their hands up, and just asked Jerry, you got to just get some help here, and that's all it took. So they got the call right. I honestly did not get up because I thought it was gone for sure, but I just looked right at Ruben and watched what he did. I like his song when he comes to the plate. I want to tell you that right now too. And then the last inning, we were trying to figure out who in the heck sings that. I like the way she moves. I mean, we were trying to figure that out, and I'm telling my bench coach, can you please shut up? I'm trying to concentrate here. And that's a true story. Really tense out there.
One more. I don't know if we can top that. One more?
I don't know. That's a true story too. Holy cow.
Nothing else for Ron. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Ron Gardenhire singing Outcast. He likes the way they move. The last 3 postseason series for the Twins, they do great in Game 1, but not so well afterwards. Well, once again, Johan Santana and the Twins doing it to the Yanks in the Bronx. They win 2-0 to take Game 1 of this series. Game 2 tomorrow with Brad Radke and John Lieber. The winner Game 1 of the American League Division Series between the Twins and the Yankees.
Albert?
For Johan Santana. Both your coach, Ron Gardenhire, and Joe Torre said that you might have not had your best command tonight. Did you feel in the first few innings there that you were getting some help from the Yankee batters chasing bad pitches?
You know, all I know is these guys are good, you know, and then you have to be careful, you know, with them, because if you make a mistake, then you have to pay for it. And I think, you know, I was able to throw the right pitch at the right time, because I know that my teammates can make some plays, and then that's the way we are. You know, that's what this team is all about. We play defense, we do pitching, and then you know, you have to be lucky sometimes, you know, to get good hits against these guys because they're good. And then tonight we prove what the Minnesota Twins are all about.
Raquel, over here.
Johan, en español, por favor. ¿Qué significa este juego ganado para ti, tu equipo, y también saber que vas a lanzar el cuarto juego para Minnesota en esta serie contra los Yankees?
In English too, please, Raquel.
I'd like Johan to tell us what it means to him to win this first game against the Yankees, and to explain how he feels about perhaps pitching the fourth game of the series against the Yankees.
It is always good. I mean, it is a great feeling, you know, to beat the New York Yankees, one of the best teams in baseball. But also it's good for the team, because now we know that taking game 1, you know, we go back home and having a chance to win the division there. And then you know, it's gonna be tough, but that's what we want, and I feel pretty good. Es siempre bueno saber que se puede ganar el primer juego. Para mí fue bastante bueno saber que le ganamos a los Yankees, a uno de los mejores equipos del béisbol. Esto es una victoria que necesitamos nosotros para ahora regresar a la casa y tratar de ganar la división en el Metro.
Jerry, right here.
Yeah, thank you. Jacques, could you tell us what you were thinking when you were running around the bases, and what you recall of your teammates coming out to greet you when you scored?
Just a lot of excitement. I haven't had too many things to be excited about the last couple days. Just relief. Picking Johan up, he's pitching his tail off. Everyone counts for him. Sometimes 2 runs is like 100 runs. The way he's been throwing the ball this year. Like I said before, my teammates have been great, and they were probably more excited about the situation than I was. And that just goes to show what kind of teammates I have. I mean, to me, I have the greatest teammates in the major leagues. It's like a family, and every last one of them has been there for me at this time.
Murray.
Johan, would you talk about your double play pitches tonight?
Well, you know, a lot of people were expecting me to get strikeouts and get whatever, but you know, it was all about throwing the right pitch at the right time, and then stay focused, stay composed all the time. I mean, not trying to overdo things, and then just trying to make the right pitch, and then end up pretty good. Turn some double plays that just killed those innings right there, and Torre did a great play, you know, double play, and then that tells you guys what kind of team we are. You know, that's the way we play. It's all about defense and play the game the right way. And tonight we showed how to play the game.
Just a couple more here.
Jack, can you talk a little bit about your dad and your memories of him and what you think he might be thinking now?
I know he's excited. He's watching over me, like he always has, even when he was here with us. He tried to see me play as much as he could, and every chance he got to, he came down to see me play, and I was excited. I appreciated it, and you know, I play the game hard every day, and I play it for, you know, my family members, because, you know, those are the ones that are gonna love me whether I play well or I don't play so well. So I know he's excited, and you know, I'm excited.
Karen.
Johan, did the cold weather have any impact at all on your command or your feel of the baseball tonight?
Oh, a little bit. I mean, it was cold out there, and plus, it takes a lot of time between innings, you know, and then it was tough to stay loose and stay in the game, but I was able to battle with it and then and get the pitches that we need.
Peter?
Jacques, can you talk a little bit about this being your first postseason home run and getting a big hit off Mussina, who you've had trouble with?
Yeah, I've had trouble the last couple postseasons with balls falling in and getting hits off this guy. It just seems like this guy's channeled into my brain, and whatever I'm sitting on, he throws the opposite. And when I sit on the opposite, he throws what I should have been thinking. Just, I don't know. Different pitchers in this game have different pitchers' number, and hopefully this is the start of something good.
We'll go Bob and then Hal, and then we'll let you go.
Johan, is there any particular situation you remember that you were most proud of or you were most concerned about that you were happiest to have gotten out of tonight?
Well, you know, through the first inning, I mean, through the whole game, I mean, there were some situations where, you know, I just told myself, oh, you got to do it. But, you know, throw the ball over the plate and then just let them make the play, because that's the way we are. And then, you know, I had a lot of confidence on myself and the things that I can do, but I also got a lot of confidence on my teammates and all the things that we can do as a team. And then everything just worked out pretty good. I mean, what can I say? It's just it's a great feeling. And then this is just game one. I mean, we still have some games to go that we have to play the right way.
Hal, last question.
On the night of the vice presidential debates, Johan Santana making a statement. He's president of pretty much all the good pitching clubs. Joins a very exclusive one, longest win streaks to end a season. And as you can see, each of the guys on that list won his first postseason start.